Hi guys, it's Todd. Again, 35. I have borderline personality disorder. The last video was all about the joys, the love that I experienced from my external family, not my own. So what I say in here could be graphic, could offend people. This isn't about you, this is my journey. I do apologise if it triggers you, but you don't have to watch if you don't want to. Right. So, when I was 8, I had a very peculiar thing happen to me. I had this skin condition that formed from a cold sore. And it was called, I think it's like erythema multiforme. So the best way to describe it, back then how they described it was like it was a ringworm, a cold sore, a school sore, um, but the difference was mine was never contagious. The only way it would be contagious is if one of the pustules had this is graphic, but it is what it is. It's part of my trauma. If one of the pustules bursted open into an open wound on someone else, that was the only way it would ever be contracted. But this would really trigger, like this started happening quite young, um, and it was more around when the hotter months started coming around, like late October, November. Um, yeah, more like November, carry on through summer. So when that started happening, skin specialists didn't know what the hell I had. There was not a lot of study on it, um, and then you had to meet certain categories in order to be prescribed this medication. And my nan paid for um, the skin specialist, one of the best on the Central Coast at that time. A lot of tests were done, lots of different medications were taken. There was a new drug that come out for it. It was the I think it was the Zavirax oral form when it first come out to use um, to treat that sort of condition. I didn't meet. He went to Parliament for me to fight for me. I still didn't meet the criteria, so he ended up buying, um, like getting samples of all these drugs from different companies to give to me for free. So off the back of the truck because he really wanted to help me. So this affected my schooling. Um, 1 year of schooling, I missed 6 months because of it. They detrimental to me and how I would, how shall I say, um, be picked on and bullied at school for it because I had it from head to toe. So from my scalp, down my face, my back, my arms, my armpits, my stomach, my chest, my groin, my bottom, all the way down my legs to my feet. Very, very itchy. Being a child, it's like imagine having chicken pox. I had that too, but this wasn't as traumatic. This was more traumatic. Um, and your cousins and your siblings looking at you like, ooh. And um, yeah, so that went on for a few years. And they said it will eventually, the doctor said you'll either grow out of it or when you hit puberty, or you will have for the rest of your life. You just got to manage it. So it was just a time will tell sort of thing. So I missed out on a lot of stuff like that, schooling and stuff, and the Lions Club stepped in, and they were taking disadvantaged kids to give them some joy. So I got enrolled into the program, um, and we went out to Orange, and we went to um, what is it? The jail out in Orange. Went to Bathurst. We camped. Went to this cave had stalactites, stalagmites. Um, Pretty good. Just all a bunch of boys and girls, roughly like between the ages of 8 and I think 14. Went there, went on a trip. It was pretty cool. Come back. Um, yeah, so that was a skin condition that I lived with up until I was about 12, 13. But the older I got, the less it got. So yeah, but it really affected my education. Um, that, and on top of being physically abused, told I wasn't loved, um, told that whenever I was told to not be around, they'd throw me outside. My parents don't come back until dark. Didn't really give a shit what I did, but I was a loner. Um, didn't really have a lot of friends in school. I was different. I think a lot of us can kind of navigate our childhood like that, especially if you were different. And as I said previously, I was never into fishing, never into sports. So my dad gravitated more towards my brother, and I would get bullied and abused because I was too feminine. Um, I wanted to do things in primary school like dance and choir, and my dad blatantly refused that and would kind of literally yell, hit me, abuse me for being too feminine. Um, and then with my mother, she had a girl. So all her attentions went on her son and her daughter. So I was literally in the middle, just doing me. I was just like an outcast, a pariah. Just didn't really fit in with that like my immediate family. And that's why I gravitated towards my cousins, my grandparents and things like that. And in school, um, a lot of learning difficulties. I was never forced to do homework, and if I was, just it wasn't even looked over. My grandfather helped me with maths. Could never get my times tables. He would sit there. Whenever I'd stay at their place, that's when the ground rules would be: you do your homework. And they would sit there with me and take their time and help me to do that. But I had a lot of learning difficulties. From a young age, I started exhibiting the manipulating behaviours to survive like my mother did. Because I was just getting the bare minimum, so didn't really have good clothes, always had food on the table. I was never given any pocket money. My grandparents would let me do that by making me do chores around their house. So that was the only time I ever got money. So I remember this one time we had a school fete. We lived in this place that was behind my primary school, and they had a school fete. And I asked my parents for money. They said no. So at the time, I was in this class, and the teacher had a gold star situation. You complete your task, you do it well, you get a gold star, and then you reach a level, and then you get a present. So I kind of used that sort of situation into the thing that happens next. I ended up stealing about $250. At that age, it was like 7 or 8. Obviously had no idea on the value of that and how much that was. So I took that from parents. Um, and went and spent it at the fair. Books. Um, got like a little science set, like a little volcano thing. I was constantly buying canteen food, throwing out the lunch that they were giving me. But I kept it very secretive for a few days until my parents couldn't figure out whether it was my brother. I think my brother got blamed for it. Um, but I was also questioned as well. All abusive, smacking, whatever. There was no hearing it out, just automatic accusation, and I knew that was going to come anyway. So it's just a very daily occurrence in my life. So what I did was I'd get all this stuff and I'd hide it in my room, and I'd hide it in pockets of my clothing, um, underneath, like in my bed frame, pillowcases and things like that. And then each week I would go, oh, I got a present. I got a present because I got the most gold stars in school, and pull one out, and then pull the book out, and it just went on for weeks and weeks until everything was revealed. And my nan kind of clued in on it, and then at this stage, um, my brother blamed me for stealing $10, and my nan, um, I was down there one time. Um, And my nan and grandpa pulled me aside and they did the very stern thing. They're like, go to jail if you do this, you don't want to steal. Be honest with me, you know I can see straight through a lie. You know, and your nan broke down in tears. But she gave me the option. She goes, so which one did you steal? Obviously I copped to the $10 because I'm like, the gravity of the difference in monetary when it was explained to me, the way that my nan and grandfather explained it to me, I had to work around it. And Nan gave me the $10. She goes, put it somewhere where you'll find it, but you have to work now for this every weekend. Going to get you to do it, teach you a lesson. So that's what they do. Yeah, so the journey is like, the journey at this stage, very lonely, very abandoned, very not loved, um, very abusive. Kind of hard to kind of really attach myself to it. It's easy to explain, but yeah, you can see where I'm going on this journey. Alright, we'll leave it for there for this video. Follow for more if you want to hear. Thank you.